If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up or go a few videos back. It was a video, I believe, that I posted Saturday. And it's about Pumpkin Patch Dad. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's on TikTok. And it's a guy who he's in the car with his wife and his kids, and she asks, "Are you going to have fun today?" And he goes on this rant about how we're going to spend money on this overpriced shit and the kids are going to bitch and complain. I'm not even going to get the stuff that I want. He's cussing and carrying on. And as to be expected, there were pygmies in the comment section who, both on YouTube and here, who are like, well, I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying. Is he not telling the truth? Are things not expensive? You know, I always say that we can always find the pygmies, because post a video about getting respected and having standards, and the pygmies are going to be the ones who come out and tell you that everything's fine, everything's okay, and that would be fine with them. Anyway, I digress. And there were some people who were like, well, you know, what he's saying is the truth. There's nothing wrong with what he's saying. Now, I want to say this. Are there places that are overpriced? Just about everywhere you go nowadays is overpriced. That's simply something that we can't escape. If you want to go out and do some kind of fun activity, you're going to spend an arm and a leg on something if they don't first get you for simply parking at the venue. Also, there's a way to say everything, and there's a time and a place. I get some of you have no home training, so you don't quite understand that. So I'm going to say a couple things. One, if you offer to take me somewhere, you agree to go and you agree to pay, and you immediately go off on a rant about how it's overpriced and it's so expensive and this, that, and the third, at this age in my life, after all I've been through, you've messed with the right one, because I'm going to look at you and say, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. And you're going to be confused and wonder what I'm talking about. And that means you can leave me the fuck alone from this point on. Because if you didn't have the money, you shouldn't have spent the money. And you should have been adult enough to say up front, this is not in the budget for us. Or perhaps exercise them fake leadership skills that you men talk about all the time and find an affordable alternative. Also, some of you were raised in households where yelling and screaming at each other and being disrespectful was the normal. I say this all the time. Just because something is normal doesn't mean it's right. Because I can tell you right now, if I talk to my two kids the way that man was talking in front of his kids, that's not the norm in this household. So my kids are going to immediately think I've lost my fucking mind, and they're going to think something is wrong. Because we know how to communicate without disrespecting each other. And also, some of you are used to being with men who don't want to spend time around you at all. So witnessing a man bitch and complain about having to spend time with his family, that's normal for you. And unfortunately, it's okay with you, because you would rather have any piece of a man than no man at all. So you have no standards in saying, hey, if you don't want to spend any time around me, that's cool. I'm going to make it a permanent situation for you. Also, I want to be real with you. As parents, do we not sometimes complain about how expensive some things are? Yeah. But if it makes my kids happy, that's not the time in the moment for me to complain about that. That's not appropriate. At the peak of somebody's excitement, when somebody's excited about something, that's not the time for you to do your bitching and complaining about it, because you didn't have to do it if you couldn't afford to. A lot of you think that just because something is normal to do, or at least normal for you, that makes it okay. But I'm going to touch your hand while I say this, both Rocco and I, okay? Some of you were never in households where y'all talk to each other respectfully. Some of y'all have never experienced being in a relationship with a man who talks to you like you're a fucking human being. Some of you are used to people who made it feel like a burden to spend time with you. Some of you are used to people who bitched and complained because they had to spend a dime doing something that would be fun, that would possibly, if they had the right attitude, bring you guys together. So you see a guy on here getting loud and cussing and carrying on and being disrespectful, and to you don't see a problem with it. But as someone who has been consistently going to therapy for several years now, who is actively doing the work on a daily basis, how that man acted in that video with his wife and his kids is not okay. And if you think it is, this is coming from someone who's currently in therapy, you might need to go, or at the very least, write in a journal your feelings so that you can get to the bottom of why you think that the way he was speaking is okay.